I did. All right. It's Thursday. We're here at yoga. Today we're going to start on our feet. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah. I'm saying hi to all of you as I transition my brain into teaching. So let's start with the feet hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. Wobble out those knees. Maybe roll those shoulders back as you reach those fingers down. Gaze is proud in front. Slowly close those eyes and gaze soft to the floor. And here on the mat, I want you to bring your focus to your feet. Lift up those toes. Spread them out. Even if they don't spread, mine don't spread. Spread out those toes. Feel the arches activate in your feet and set those toes down. See if you can feel the inside big toe side of your foot and the pinky toe side of your foot and the heel all at the same time. Allow the roots of your feet to grow into the earth. And from that rooted connection, allow the energy to grow up tall. Feel your inner thighs squeeze together, your glutes squeeze to activate. Allow your belly button to draw in, your ribs to knit together. Allow your shoulders and your arms to be heavy. And your head to be proud. Feeling your tall mountain. All together from our Zoom boxes, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let that morning go. Seal up your lips and begin to move your breath through your nose. Take 3 intentional breaths to notice the inhale. Feel the exhale. Beginning to welcome yourself to the mat. When you're ready, you can let the gaze flutter open. Let's reach those arms out and up. So we're stretching all the way from the heel and the arch and the toes of our foot. We're stretching all the way up our body, reaching those shoulders, reaching those arms, stretching through the fingertips. Waken yourself up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, reach high, and then side bend over to the left side. Waken up your side body. We're just waking up. This one might not go very far. But see if instead of having your chest turn toward the ground, can you have it to the side? Then using that side muscle, let's come all the way up, reaching high. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, and we're going to stretch over to the other side, keeping that chest shining forward. Feeling that breath begin to move long through the body. You're going to come up high. Reach those hands behind you. Maybe you want to grab the fingers if that's accessible. Roll your shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Softly bend the knees and begin to forward fold. Hinging at the hips, bringing yourself down. Head and neck hang. Your arms and hands are coming away from the back. It doesn't matter how far, just have the motion come away from your back body. And maybe you want to sway a little bit from side to side. We've been sitting still in desks. So now we're going to move just a little bit, bending one knee and then the other. You can release those hands down to the mat. Walk your feet out as wide as the mat. Bend your knees. Plant your left hand on the mat, so you're making a triangle with your feet and your hand. We're gonna bend the left knee, keep the left knee bent, straighten the right knee, and twist up toward the right side. You can also put a block underneath your hand. But I find if I bend one knee straight together, I can twist open. Think about your arm and your chest opening. And then coming all the way down, straight, bring your both knees to bend. Plant your right hand down, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, and twist open to the other side. So we've done that slowly. Now we're going to move one breath, one movement. So inhale, you're going to switch sides. Left hand comes down, left hand bends, right hand reaches. And then you're going to exhale and go the other way. Right hand comes down, right knee bends, left hand reaches. So move to your own breath. We're bending the knee that the hand goes down and straightening the other leg. Noticing where you feel the sensation in your back and your shoulders and your arms. And your next twist, I want you to move super slow, like someone put you in a time, slow-mo, time-lapse photography. Can you feel all those slow-mo transitioning moments? Sometimes that's part of the mind work, is keeping yourself moving slow. And it's like, I want to move fast. Sometimes it's good to slow down. So fight that urge if you're feeling it. Keep moving slow. And then on your next time down, you're going to release those hands, let the head hang. Take a moment to really bend the knees, feel the feet connect to the ground, root down, and then sweep those arms out sideways as you push to stand, reaching high once again. Bring the hands to heart center. Back down by your sides. And then we can move those feet so they're back under the hips, maybe together if that feels okay and stable, you choose. Let's roll those shoulders back, reach those arms down. All together, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep through the nose. Exhale long through the mouth. Inhale, sweep those arms up, reaching high. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, we're coming all the way down. Inhale, half lift, hands come to your shins. You're going to reach that head long, reach the hips back. Bring the belly button toward the spine, knit those ribs together. You're a strong, sturdy coffee table. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back with your right foot and lower that back knee. We're going to come up for a moment. So today in our lunge, I want you to think about sinking down, but then think about pulling your front foot toward the back and your back leg toward the front. Engage those muscles so you're trying to bring your legs together. See how that changes the sensation in your legs. Front leg toward the back leg toward the front. You want to bring up the arms, feeling free. When I think about this engagement, my legs actually shake. They get really engaged as I try and pull that back leg forward and the front leg back. Let's bring the hands down to the front of either side of the foot, stepping back to plank on the knees or plank on the toes. We're pushing the ground away, checking in that we're gripping with the fingertips, rooting down with the knuckles. And as you come all the way down to your belly, keep those elbows tucked into your sides, coming all the way down. Elbows are still pointing back. Think about squeezing the shoulder blades together as you lift the chest and head up into baby cobra. Now it's almost like you feel like you're pulling your hands pulling back. Slowly lower. Tuck your toes, push yourself up to plank on the knees. and find your way into your first down dog. So again, gripping the mat with your fingertips, rooting down with your base knuckles, pushing the mat away from you as you raise those sit bones high. And then think about dropping the weight down the back of your legs. Your heels are yearning toward the ground. They don't have to touch. And if you feel like you're struggling, like it's a really long down dog, just walk your feet a little closer. And if it feels like it's too easy, then I want you to walk your feet back a little bit. Play around with your down dog. Find your place for today. And then we're going to look forward. Step forward with the left foot, dropping that back knee again. Sinking down. And then coming back to the sensation of pulling the front foot toward the back. Pulling the back leg toward the front, and then reaching the arms up if you choose. So checking in with the legs, pulling the back leg forward, the front leg back. Can feel weird the first times you think about that. Then we'll bring the hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes, and take that big step or multiple little steps toward the front of the mat. Find your forward fold, letting the head hang. Feel your feet root down as you sweep those arms up, coming up to mountain. Reaching those fingertips high. We're going to bring the hands through heart center and down by your sides. That was a really slow sun salutation. We did it on the one side. We're going to do it on the other side again. Keep things balanced. So all together from our Zoom boxes, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep. Exhale long. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, bending the knees, coming all the way down. Inhale, half lift, hands come to the shins. You're reaching the head forward, reaching the hips back. Belly button into the spine, ribs knit together. Strong coffee table. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, plant the hands. This time we're going to step back with the left foot. Drop the knee down. Come up into your lunge. Sink down. And then think about that pull. Back leg comes forward, front leg comes back. It can be weird. I'm pulling, I'm not going anywhere. Or maybe I'm going somewhere. How do I not go somewhere? Just play around with that engagement. Be curious with those strong, engaged legs. Reaching high. Embracing that new sensation with the legs. And then we'll bring the hands down to the mat. Stepping back to plank on the knees or plank on the toes. Yogi's choice. Whichever plank you pick. Grip the mat with your fingertips, root down with the base knuckles. Keep your elbows tucked beside you as you lower all the way down to your belly, building that strength as you slowly melt down. Keep those elbows pointed back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you raise your chest and head off the mat. Hug those elbows in. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Gazing down at the mat, and then slowly lower down. Tuck the toes, get ready to build some strength as you push up to plank on the toes or the knees, and find your way back to down dog. So checking in here, squeezing your fingertips, but rooting down with the base knuckles, the knuckles between your palms, and your hand or your palms and your fingers. You're pushing the front of the mat away as you raise your hips high. This allows you to stretch your arms and your back. And then allow the weight to roll down the back of your legs so that your heels are yearning toward the ground. Adjusting your stance forward or back so it's a good challenge for you. We're gonna look forward and step forward with the right foot, finding your lunge. This is our last one. We're gonna come up, sink down, and think about dragging the back leg forward, pulling the front leg back to engage those legs. Really get those legs engaged, and if you choose, reach those arms up. But our focus today is on the engagement, pulling those legs together. We'll bring the hands down beside the foot, tuck the back toes, and take that big step to the front of the mat, finding your forward fold. Allow those feet to root down and then push into the ground as you sweep those arms up, pressing all the way to a tall stance. Bringing those hands to heart center. Reaching the hands down. Finding your tall mountain. And noticing the pace of your breath. Noticing the temperature of your breath. Being curious on how things are changing as we continue to move. You're gonna have those feet hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. And then we'll sweep those hands forward as we sit down into a wide-legged chair. So today in our chair pose, I want you to look down at your feet and your knees. And it can be very common to have your knees come in. I used to do that all the time. So what I want you to do is try and make those knees parallel. So think about balancing out the feet, feeling the big toe and the pinky toe. Think about engaging the inner thighs to pull those legs apart so they're parallel. So your knees are equal distance from each other and they're not diving in. And then go back to your feet. Can you feel the big toe side, the pinky toe side, and the heel? And now if you want an extra challenge, it might make you smile. Lift those toes up and see if you can set the big toe down all by itself, even if it's in a sock. Ooh, my left one is always easier. My right one's being stubborn, but give it a go. Set all those toes down and exhale, forward fold. Ooh. Release that work from your legs. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back with your left foot, pivot that back foot, and find your way to warrior two. So the back foot faces the side of the mat, front foot faces the front. Whew. And then we're gonna bend into that front knee, back leg straight. It's been a while since I've seen bodies. I don't know if I'm giving you too many cues or not enough. But we're finding our way to warrior two. And today in this pose, I want you to bring your hands to your hips. And I want you to notice, are your hips kind of facing forward? Are they facing diagonal? Are they facing to the side? Just notice that first. Now I want you to, according to your own body, see if you can move the hips more toward the side of the room while keeping your feet where they are. So we're turning our hips and our torso toward the side. And they don't have to go all the way, but I want you to think about bringing them toward the side to your limit. And then reach those arms out long. You guys got this. I know the front leg is probably hurting, but also not hurting. That's the wrong word. Shaking, getting stronger. So push into the back leg as well. So hips are to the side, arms are out, bring just the gaze over the front arm. And I want to say to yourself right now, I am a strong warrior. Strong warriors still shake. Push into the front leg, straighten the front leg, flip the palms up, and let's find a reverse warrior. This one always feels so nice after that long bend. We're building some leg strength today. We've been sitting, a lot of us, from the informal pull have been taken. So we gotta remember those legs, gotta make them move. All right, let's sink back down into warrior two. Lean your front body over your front leg. Take your forearm, pop it on your thigh. Instead of collapsing down, think about pushing yourself away and reaching that top hand up and over into side angle. If you want to experiment with removing that bottom arm, maybe making it lighter or reaching it out as well, you can do that. That's not for you today. Just keep pushing away and reaching that arm over. We got this. We're doing good. Take an intentional breath, nice and deep. And then let's pivot toward a forward lunge, a high lunge. Stepping in about halfway, feeling your front foot anchor the ground, leaning forward and finding your airplane pose. So engage that back foot, purposely flex it. Maybe you want to purposely point it, your choice. But be active, there's a foot back there. And then lift your arms up, reach them to the side. If you want to do an airplane, play around with the front arms. If you want to do warrior three, play around with reaching toward the back. If you want to fly like a rocket man, I totally forget what this one is called. Rocket woman, there we go. All right, challenge moment, push into the standing leg and see if you can stand up on that one leg, bringing that back knee to the chest, and then set it down. Shake it out. Find your mountain, your intentional breath, awareness. When our breath is faster, sometimes it can be hard to change. So don't try and change it. Observe it and see what it feels like. What is the rate? What is the temperature? Warrior three is rocket woman. It totally is. Okay, let's do this. Someone put that in the chat, so I had a comment. Let's do this on the other side. So, feet hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. We're gonna sit down into that chair. Reaching the hips back, reaching the arms forward. I want you to look down at your feet, seeing if they're straight ahead. Seeing if you can feel the big toe side and the pinky toe side at the same time. If your knees are collapsing, I want you to engage those muscles and bring those legs apart so they're parallel. We have equal distance between our knees and our thighs. Just again, makes it feel a little bit different. Working different muscles when we bring those knees equally apart. We're gonna lift those toes up. And smile while you do this. Try and set your big toes down all by themselves. And that is a piece of cake for some people. So if that's a piece of cake for you, then I want you to try the rest of the toes. For me, I'm still working on my big toes. You pick the challenge that works for you. And then with an exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, release those legs. We're gonna bend the knees, plant the hands. Step back with the right foot, finding your way to warrior two. So pivoting the back toes toward the side of the mat, bending the front knee. We're gonna come up to our warrior two on the other side. Okay, so sink into the front foot, but also push into the back leg. Engage both your legs. Hands in the hips, just notice where they are. I like to naturally, if I don't check in with this, I'm usually pointing toward the side of the room. But notice where you are. And then see if you can move your hips and your torso to face more of the side of the room. My hip doesn't go completely to the side, but I can definitely change it a little bit by intentionally thinking about facing the side. Reach those arms out long, keeping your hips where they are. Turn just your gaze over the front arm. Again, might be shaking in the front leg. Building strength here. Say to yourself, I am a strong warrior. Strong warriors still shake. And then push into the front leg, straighten that front leg, flip the palms up, and let's lean back into a reverse warrior. This nice pose sometimes feels like a break. To me, remembering all our bodies are different, and if you're like a speed skater or a runner, that warrior two might be nothing for you. So keep in mind, we all have different favorites and different not favorites, depending what our lives look like. All right, let's bend that knee, come back to warrior two. Remember to push into the back leg and the front leg. Begin to lean forward over the front leg. Bring your forearm down and push yourself away from the leg. So if you're collapsing down, push yourself away. Reach that top hand up and over. Nice long side angle. Perhaps you stay here. Perhaps you play around with making that forearm a little lighter on the leg. Maybe today's the day you want to play around with reaching the bottom arm out. You choose your challenge for today. And we'll come back to side angle. Pivot ourselves down to a lunge. Stepping back or forward about halfway as we get ready to lean onto the front foot. Lift that back leg and engage that back foot. Purposely flex or purposely point. If you remember, we have a foot back there. It's easier to engage the quad to keep the leg up. And then choose your adventure for your arms. Airplane. Arms forward. Arms back. Maybe you're thinking about just staying up. Maybe you're thinking about shining those hips to the floor. We're working on balance wherever we are. And then push into that standing leg. Feel the big toe and the pinky toe and the heel. Push into that leg as we come up to standing on that one foot, building strength, working that balance, being proud of ourselves wherever we are. We're going to lower that leg down. We're going to shake it out. Ooh. That was a lot of work on the legs. Okay, one more leg thing. Let's take those feet about hip width apart, mat width apart, maybe a little wider. Toes out, heels in. Reach those arms up nice and tall. Don't skip the reach. I want you to reach from your heel all the way up your side body, all the way up your arms through your fingertips. Reach long. Maybe bring those palms together as we bend the knees out, finding our squat. Bringing those hands down to heart center as we lower. Maybe you want to stay in a more high squat. Maybe you want to lower down into a yogi squat. They both work muscles in different ways. But since our theme is our feet and our legs, whichever option you pick, can you push the ground away with your feet? Can you engage the feet so that you could do a little pulse or two? Finding the root with the ground as you root with your feet and rise with your spine. Play around with that. Last little bit of leg work. And then slowly, however you want, we're going to sit down onto our sit bones. Put our legs in front of us. And if sitting here with a tall spine on your legs out in front is a little difficult, if you want to hunch or lean back, then you can put a little sit bones, a cushion or a block under your sit bones, or roll up the back of your mat to give your hips just a little extra height, because then that's going to allow our hips to hinge a little bit easier. Okay, let's take our right foot and bring it into our left thigh. So we're making a little triangle here with our knee out. Taking a moment to sit nice and tall. So feeling the root of our sit bones. Our sit bones are rooted down. And from that strong root, our spine rises high. Take a moment to feel that nice long spine rooted through the sit bones and rising up through the crown of the head. And then if it feels good to you, you can begin to hinge at the hips, keeping that spine straight, just hinging a little bit at the hips. And once your hips don't want to hinge anymore, you can curl the back, curl the head, and be a little floppy over your leg. If you're feeling this behind your knee, micro bend your knee. I want you to check in with your foot. And let's all purposely flex our foot, toes to nose. Notice how that feels on the back of the leg, on the front of the leg with a purposely flexed foot. And now I want you to purposely point your foot. So you're pointing the toes, you're thinking of pulling your heel to the back of your shin. So you're pointing your whole foot. Notice how that feels on the back of the leg. And then let go of all engagement in your foot and just let it be. No pointing, no flexing. Now what does the back of your leg feel like? And for one last breath or two, pick whichever one of those fit options felt the best for you. And do that one more time. Point, flex, or just be. Depending on our muscles and how we use them, depending on our nerves and our water intake, we might have different preferences today. And what we're doing is learning to recognize that in ourselves. Allow your hands to be heavy, and let's walk ourselves up nice and tall. We're gonna take this right knee, bring it up, and we're gonna step this right foot across the left leg. You can stay here with the leg out, or maybe you wanna take your left foot and curl it by your butt. You get to choose. Then we're gonna take the left hand behind us, sitting nice and tall, and begin to, something wrong. Right hand behind us, sitting nice and tall. And then take your left hand and hug your right leg into a little twist. Inhaling the spine tall. Exhale, feel the root of your sit bones. So inhale, extend. Exhale, feel the root. And be curious to see if you can feel the root and the rise at the same time. And then slowly we'll untwist. Bring those legs both out. Maybe shake them. Then we'll take our left foot, bring it in toward our right thigh. Whew, not sure if you heard a little crack in there in my knee. Done it forever. Take a moment to root through the sit bones. Feel your spine grow up from that root. Feel your body anchored and rising at the same time. Option to stay here, option to hinge at the hips, leaning over that leg. When your hips don't want to hinge anymore, you can let the head and neck release. Feel the back of your leg. You're feeling behind your knee, do a little micro bend. And then let's flex our foot. Pull those toes towards your nose. And notice how the flexing changes the sensation in your leg, perhaps your low back. And now point your toe. Think about pointing your toe and moving your heel toward your calf. So you're pointing your whole foot, and notice how the back of your leg feels. Maybe your low back feels. Being curious to discover those sensations. And release your foot. Not flexing, not pointing, just letting it be. And then choosing one of those three options, the flex, the point, or the just be, to stay for 2 more breaths in this forward fold. And slowly walk yourself back up, straight spine. We'll take this left knee and step the left foot over the right leg. Option to keep the leg long or to bring that foot beside your butt. I always got to think about this. We're bringing the left hand behind us, sitting tall, and then giving a nice big hug. I like to kind of bring my elbow, inside of my elbow to my knee, and wrap my arm around my leg. I find twists are very personal, like all the poses in class. If you're super flexy, you might be one of those people that can put their elbow to the outside of their knee and leverage their way around. If you're less flexy, you might just have your hand on your knee instead of your elbow. And this is like twisty flexy. There's so many different ways of being flexy. We'll talk about that another day. Today, we're thinking about strength. Feeling the root of your sit bones as you feel the lift of the spine. Challenging yourself to feel the root and the rise of this twist at the same time. And then we'll slowly untwist, perhaps shake those legs out. And you can choose your final position, whether that's Shavasana on the ground. I'm gonna kneel so I can stretch my quads. You can say crisscross. But wherever you are, one last time, I want you to feel the root. Where is your body connected with the ground? Visualize that connection point. Visualize roots growing from you into the ground and past the floor. Picture those roots going into the earth, reaching down all the way into the earth to that nice warm center of our planet. And feel that warmth from the center of our planet come up those roots and come into your body. And allow that warmth to rise up, allowing you to sit taller. Allow the space to grow in between your vertebrae, that warmth that's just gonna get into all the nooks and crannies as you sit tall. And from this nice, rooted, tall seat, think of one thing today that you are proud of. And all together from our Zoom boxes, let's bring our hands to heart center. Slightly tuck the chin. Exhale the lungs. Inhale deep and long, take in all of that air, that beautiful oxygen. And then slowly through the mouth, release. Letting the air take the class away. And slowly you can open those eyes. Get ready to rejoin your day. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday at lunch or on the replay. I hope you have a wonderful week. Look at my timing. And we will see you next week. As always, you can send all of your questions and comments to wellness@saskpolytech.ca. And we'll see you next time. Bye.